Well, in order to save time tonight, we are going to skip the intro screen. No offense to DB Wild, I love his intro song. But I'm trying to keep this to like a straight hour-and-a-half stream. I only have this one topic I want to go through, so I don't really see... That's all that matters. No, so DB was saying that it was he was having some lag on his end, so I don't know if that's just localized just to where he's at, like just an issue on his end, or if the entire stream is going to be a shit show again tonight. Watching YouTube through Ethernet at work. Got kick pulled up through mobile 5G. Well, then it's apparently me. Both are lagging out. Great. Hang on a second. I'll pull up my phone and see what it looks like. Let me try this. Let me see. I mean, you're lucky. I can't even get my phone to load anything for whatever reason. Oh, jumped ahead a bit? Yeah. Yeah, see, there it is. Dude, I can't even get my phone to load my stream. Skip. Well, it looks fine now. We're just going to roll with it, guys. We are just going to roll with it. If it gets really bad, you guys let me know, and I can always restart. Otherwise, we are just going to keep this thing going, provided it's not complete dog shit. So, anyways, guys, happy Highguard Day to anybody who's partaking. I know I watched Kata and Atreus play a little bit this morning, and I feel pretty confident that my original prediction about the type of game quality of the game is pretty much spot on. Not the worst game that's ever existed. Hey, Lucia. Just one of those things where it's, oh, you're fine, the starting screen was doing it. Well, then it's a computer thing, not an internet thing. Blame my damn computer, I guess. What happened last stream? Dude, Streamlabs just crapped out. It was purely Streamlabs encountered an error and shut the whole thing down. It was nothing internet related. It was nothing computer related. It was just the... I mean, Streamlabs, let's be fair, guys. As much as I love using Streamlabs because of the convenience of having everything all loaded in together, it's one of those things where, unfortunately, it's prone to having more issues. Ooh, Kickbots are already at it. Let's promote you. Come in. No, stay out. Bad. All right. So I'm not going to beat around the bush too much. I want to go ahead and play a few minutes of the launch showcase from Highguard that was out this morning. For anybody who doesn't know anything about Highguard as far as like the gameplay goes, how everything like that works, I feel like this would be very informative for most of you guys. I think the music stopped. Hang on. Nope. It's still going. Oh, now it stopped. All right, we got it. Dude, I knew it was going to be a bad night. I knew that tonight was going to be a rough night. Just is what it is, you know? All right. So, if I sounded like I'm chewing on my words a little bit, I've got a cough drop in. I've had massive sinus issues the past few days. I've got this pain in the top of my nose. And it's kind of like starting to turn red. I don't know what's causing it. I feel like I've got like sinus issues or something. But it's not going away, and in fact, it's getting worse. So I might drop into the urgent care tomorrow on the way to work. See if they can get me something for it. In the meantime, I'm using cough drops to try to keep myself from drowning in my own snot. I don't know. Have they changed hands? It's not something that I'm aware of. That being said, guys, the official launch showcase for Highguard dropped at 10 o'clock this morning. So we are going to go through the first few minutes of it because there's really no point in going through like the entire thing. Yo, what up, Truth? How you doing, buddy? All right, let's go ahead and go. We'll just put this on the main screen, make things easy for everybody. So, this was, let me get on this screen here. This was the Highguard showcase, telling everybody what this game was actually about. So, this was after, of course, weeks of not saying anything and then putting a few cryptic, announcements out there that there was going to be some information coming about the game. So, here you go. It did, man. They dropped it this morning, 10 o'clock my time. Now, I will say one thing before we get into a little bit of this showcase. My prediction for this game was pretty accurate. Based off what I saw in the Game Awards announcement trailer was exactly what the gameplay is. Rated T for teen, rated R for retarded.
Destiny bloom. Reinforcing a wall.
So again, basically, guys, this game is as if Valorant and Rainbow Six had a really ugly baby, is what this is. Oh, they're dropping exponentially, dude. Rated R for retarded, exactly. You get more drunk if you butt chug. You ever tried plugging the cough drop directly up your booty hole? I have never tried that. Besides, I'm not sick. That's the problem. I have no cold symptoms. It's just this pain in the ridge of my nose up here, which seems to coincide with when my sinuses start acting up. But it's pain. It's not like an actual... Hey, yes, it's boring. I would say the problem is not that it's bad, is that it's boring. Yep, raid the enemy base. In this, here's the thing too, guys. All right. So I've been using Chivalry 2 for gameplay footage for a lot of my videos recently, because it's an easy game to jump in and out of, right? Easy to get, video clips and stuff. The crazy thing about that is on Chivalry 2, there are siege towers that are legitimately more well thought out, well used than what this giant freaking battering ram is here. This is all like style and very, very little substance. A real 4D chess move, yeah, exactly. Character costumes and mounts don't match the theme. That's because there's not a single central theme. The game is all over the place. It's just so much different crap going on the same screen all at once. Are you being sarcastic, Cage? Or is that a serious thank you? Because technically, I don't know if YouTube sends out a second notification once I go live or not.
Let's show them who we are.
Manly, manly men, yes. And I will say that character model there, I put a post out on Twitter, that if they had done a game featuring like that chick with the midriff, with the tight hip-hugging pants, and of course the little corset type thing, and made her into a single player game with that character model, they could have actually made a good game.
Hey.
Yeah, Visser map, that's the biggest issue I have is everyone's like, well, it's only like 20 gigabytes to download. Well, it's a free game. Okay. My time isn't free. Like, if I'm going to invest my time that I do have into playing a game, it better be a game that I want to play, right? Oh, you are messing with me. Okay. No, honestly, I'm not sure because I haven't looked at my phone on Discord. I don't know if it sends out a follow-up notification once I actually go live or not. It's weird. Hey, Dread Roberts is still alive. Games exist because the world never got a new Unreal Tournament. You know, the funny thing is I never played the Unreal Tournament games. Theme doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's just all over the place. Fortnite wannabe. True AI game.
And studio head of Wildlight Entertainment.
Horses, swords, and guns feel stupid.
Concord, design and creative director.
Today we're here in our office to walk you through every aspect of our new game, Highguard. 4 years ago, the two of us, along with 60 other veteran developers that have worked together for over a decade, all made the leap from large publishers to form our own fully independent game studio.
Well, the thing about that is, as far as like the sexist stuff goes, I don't even care. I've been called an incel by people who will never be married, never have kids, and I've been married for like 20 years, not 20 years, we're at 16 years now. And I've got 3 kids that are all rapidly approaching teenage years. So it's like these people's opinion about what's sexist or what's an incel, it doesn't matter to me. Yeah, 3v3 only mode, no PvE mobs. Yeah.
From the start, our mission was to be a design-led studio where gameplay always comes first.
And in those early months, we spent a lot of time playing games that inspired us. We played Battle Royale.
Yeah, clearly these guys played a whole bunch of things that inspired them and couldn't narrow it down to one specific type of game. That is the biggest issue they have.
Survival games, extraction shooters.
Black Cat, there are hundreds of thousands of games that I never played because I never had the money or the time.
Aspect of that genre that
It's
really
worse
caught
than
our
that,
attention
okay?
was base rating. Could we take the thrill of raiding another team's
Yeah, no, they don't sound excited.
and isolate that into a competitive experience that we could play over and over again? But this isn't a survival game. It's not a base building game. It's what we call a PvP raid shooter. We wanted to utilize our experience making well-crafted
Game has zero
first-person
identity.
shooter maps to design bases that were always fun
The game
to
has
attack
scavenged
and
from
defend.
every other genre to
Most
make
importantly,
something. It's
we wanted
basically like
to
a
ensure that we were
Frankenstein's
making a
monster of a shooter.
We love making shooters. So now we're excited to show you exactly what a PvP raid shooter is.
Yeah,
and what
I've
makes
got
Highguard
Paul
special.
Tassie's tweet brought up too.
Here we go again, gang.
So here's your basic breakdown. If for anybody who's not sure, about the play cycle of this game, I think this is part of the video essentially walks you through how you're supposed to play the game. Yeah. Hey, Serrano, they were Titanfall Apex devs decided to take inspiration from Valorant and jury-rig it to Apex. Well, dude, it's literally like Valorant and Rainbow Six had a freaking like retard monster baby. It's terrible. Oh, Arc Raid. No one's gonna quit playing Arc Raiders for this trash. Okay. And I say trash because I'm not saying it's like the worst game ever. But there's no need for it to exist. Male supremacy, divine doctrines, key essential idea. I mean, that varies from game to game, but no, I totally agree and see where you're coming from there. Mediocre, generic as F, too many aspects from other popular games, too sober.
Moving in for the attack.
Well, don't get drunk over this game. It's not worth it.
Perfect. I'll take it.
I think this part of the video walks you through it. Hang on. Let me see.
Woo! We're gonna burn this place to the ground.
All right, we're going to jump ahead.
Skill with powerful magic.
Here we go.
You'll have your choice of characters with unique abilities designed around destruction, infiltration,
Hiding in plain sight.
and resource acquisition.
Some Vespa.
I watched Kata and Atreus playing it this morning. Besides trying to get into lobbies and not being able to find players and then getting kicked out of lobbies that they were already in, the game is just the map is too big. The mounts don't feel like they belong in the same environment because the mounts only serve the purpose of traversing from point A to point B, but the only reason you have to traverse from point A to point B is because the map is too big for a 3v3 shooter. They've essentially built themselves into this problem where they keep making different design choices to fix a problem that they made rather than scrapping and going back to the drawing board, you know? Yeah, way too big for 3v3. Literally, Concord. The character models do look slightly better than what you see from Concord. Just saying. Thanks for sub. Appreciate it. Walter, there we go. I couldn't understand the little letters before him, but hey, thanks, Walter. Appreciate it. Press kit. These characters look like Western artists that are trying to do anime characters. They're bland. They're boring. They're not hideous. The thing is, they're not terrifyingly ugly. Much better than Concord. Art style so bland. Yes, exactly. Felt bad for them this morning. Game's boring. Dude, I had to go do some other stuff at work, and then like an hour later, I'm like, I'm going to check back in on these guys and see how things are going. I checked back in on them playing the game. I'm like, the game is just boring. I had no desire to keep watching it. It's crazy.
To mine here.
The magical abilities of our wardens supplement combat,
I swap forms, my friends.
but we're still a gun game at our core.
Yeah, the character design's not the worst, but there's actually a great tweet that I've saved for last
Prior to
that describes
entering
everything
Highguard,
perfectly.
You'll be randomly presented with 4 options for your home base. Your team will vote on which
That's one ugly threesome there, buddy.
you. The enemy team gets the same 4 choices. Each base is the size of a classic small team deathmatch map.
Yeah, it's
They all have different layouts
heavily
and
inspired from
visual
things like
styles,
Overwatch.
But most importantly, distinct attack and defensive strengths and weaknesses that depend on your playstyle. Once you've selected your warden and your base, you spawn in. You have 1 minute to plan your defenses and pick your starting loadout. Every warden can use any weapon. Select.
So this was an interesting choice too, not tying weapon choices to a specific character. So although each character has like unique abilities and all that kind of stuff that's innate to that character, basically everything else is open. And every character gets a certain amount of like wall reinforcements that they're allotted. Every character has to find crafting materials or gems in order to buy armor mid-match. It's the craziest thing.
Your primary, secondary.
Yeah, you're not wrong,
and
Gage.
your raid tool. You can change your loadout at the beginning of every match. Each player also starts with 5
Yeah, time to
wild
reinforce phase, aka
which they
drone
can
phase.
use to
Exactly.
armor up different areas of their base. Once the defensive phase is up, your base unlocks and your team mounts up.
Oh, thanks, Matt Adam. Dude, honestly, that video I put out last night, I was up until about 11:30 trying to get all my screenshots uploaded. Dude, that video took way longer than necessary. The part that took the longest of my time was probably editing the Carl Benjamin clip from his video, because I'm like, I wanted to use a few of like his segments from that video for his thoughts on it before I did my video. But I'm like, I spent so long editing that part of his video that it left me like no time to do mine. It was crazy, but I appreciate it, man. It's been good getting back to actually uploading regularly.
And rides out.
Time to ride.
Yeah, the gear up phase here, guys.
Shieldbreaker, which is the key to starting a raid on the other team. But the Shieldbreaker takes a few
Very
minutes to
lazy
form.
indeed.
During this time, players should explore different points of interest and loot better gear. You can find upgraded guns.
The saber rifle.
Look at the design of these chests, okay? This looks like straight up out of like a mobile game. Like, guys, this chest is hideous. And I know it's a small nitpick, but it looks like a freaking mobile game chest, you know? Use open sourcing the engine to let internet make mods, maybe. Small team map, I don't want to know what they consider as a big map. Dude, there's supposed to be more maps coming out, too, for their year one roadmap. Going through periods of not being able to catch the live streams. Yeah, it happens, guys, and I appreciate any time you can tune in, and I get it. I understand when you can't, so.
Armor, better saddles, and magical amulets that are imbued with perks.
It has a very Borderlands-esque
The other
quality.
team is doing the same. So skirmishes are inevitable.
Enemy here.
Skirmishes are inevitable, but the map is huge. I know, that's the small map, right?
With me, let's go.
Stick together as a team to have strength in numbers, or take a chance and split up to get more loot for yourself.
Yeah, the player numbers, it's concerning. It is very concerning.
Also around the map are crystal formations called Vesper.
Vesper to mine over here.
Oh, they got Vesper.
Use your Warden's Axe to mine this valuable resource. You also get Vesper from kills.
I don't understand the 3v3. When I first saw the trailer for this game, because they didn't show you as like how many teammates you had around you necessarily at any given points, I assumed it would be 5v5 or 6v6. I never in a million years thought that this game would be a 3v3 shooter. Strength in numbers equals no strategy beyond shooting the same thing. Yeah. They even give you rides due to how big. Exactly. The rides, the mounts that they give you are to fix their own problem that they made by making the map too big.
Quick, swift, clean.
Short
and
write-ups.
done.
Oh,
And
nice.
from successfully attacking or defending a raid.
Defusing the bomb. Watch my back.
Puffing Peter. I'm not sure about that one.
Having luck finding the loot you need, Trader Flynn is a great way to supplement your equipment.
Whatever you need, I've got it.
And this whole thing with the trader, guys, mid-match, you have to. This is the part that drives me crazy, and I saw this happen. So I don't know if they're going to go into enough detail to really explain it. Here's what happens: each raid, if you find the Stormbreaker key, the sword, you take that, you plant that into your enemy's base. It starts the raid, and it automatically deducts 30 hit points from your enemy's base. Okay. At that point, there are 3 things you can destroy to weaken their base. Each is worth a certain amount of destruction points, right? So that takes away more of the enemy's hit points. If you don't get the raid done, I believe it's on a timer. Within a certain amount of time, the raid ends and you start over, essentially, but the enemy's base is weakened. Then the enemy can raid your base and do the same. In the middle of all that, these matches could take up to like an hour. Like they say it could take as little as 8 minutes up to 30 minutes. I've seen some of these matches that I swear to God probably took close to an hour to get done. So think about it from like the aspect of this is a free-to-play game. They're competing with Arc Raiders for attention. They're competing with Apex Legends. They're competing with all these other like hero shooters, the MOBAs, all these other games that exist. And you're telling me that you're only going to put 6 players at a time instead of 12 or instead of 15 or 20 into a single match that could take up to like 40 minutes to get done? Think about that's not sustainable. There's no way they can keep doing that for long term. Oh, they actually put the black chick on the Black Panther. I didn't even see that. I heard him say something about the black chick. I didn't know that's what he said. Product never been to real Battlefield, just makes it crappy and wrong. And there's one thing, if you don't want to go with like a realistic setting, you want to make it more fantasy, fine. But here it's like they're trying to take the parts of Apex that worked, because Apex was based on Titanfall, where the gunplay was very gritty and very real. and combine it with the fantasy magical elements, and it just doesn't blend. So flabbergasted, it's only 3v3 with no PvE. Dude, I didn't even see any like AI enemies to help defend the base or anything. They want the length of a league game in a PvP 3v3 game. Are there mobs? No, there's nothing. As of right now, as I understand it, there is no AI to fight, no AI to farm, nothing.
He can be found in your base or out in the open world.
I don't know, Blithian, that's a good question.
Happily sell you better armor, guns.
I mean, Splitgate 2 is a thing.
Appreciate the kindness.
So hunt down or purchase the best loot possible and win those skirmishes.
Feels like a MOBA where they forgot to add mobile elements. Yeah.
I end them.
During the gear up phase,
Here's the
always
shield
make sure
breaker
you're keeping one
phase.
eye on the sky.
Storm's brewing. Shieldbreaker should be ready soon.
When the storm forms, the shield breaker's location is revealed. It randomly spawns in one of 3 unique points of interest. Once that shield breaker forms, nothing else matters. Rally up and fight for possession.
Trying to be a MOBA, no mobile elements. Yeah,
If
exactly.
your team manages to secure the shield breaker, your objective is to get to the enemy base and start the raid.
Yeah, pandering to ball and gun gamers. Yeah, it really does feel that way. But to be honest, though, they talked about that because they're like, well, we didn't want to go sci-fi and we wanted to use, we knew that we were good at first-person shooters. And to be fair, I mean, the gunplay seems fine. People even said the gunplay of Concord was the part of it that actually worked. But for me, what's losing me is that these maps just look silly. They look generic. They look like you honestly could have just had them generated with AI or whatever. Slowbreaker 2 Arena Reloaded is better than it's ever going to come back any day now, or guys. And you know what, Matt Adam? If there is a dedicated fan base for Splitgate 2 that keeps the game alive for years and years, fine, so be it. That's great. Good for them. I just think that they have done so much damage when it comes to PR for that game that they'll never get their player base back. No way. Not particularly interested. Oblivion, the problem for me is I'm not even I don't care enough to even let this, to even give it a shot.
But the enemy team will do everything in their power to stop you from getting to their base.
Gang, time to attack.
If you die, you'll drop the shield breaker, and the enemy team can pick it up.
Let's mount up and soar to victory.
Oh, H. Brown, 100%. It feels like it was made up by kids making up the
Once
rules.
you get to
Yeah.
the enemy base, plant the shield breaker, and start the raid.
And to be honest, the one thing I will say is when you first watch this trailer, the showcase, I should say, and they explain how the game works, it sounds like an awful lot. And then, you watch people play it, and it is a lot of elements going on that it just makes the game boring. Now, it's not complicated. Once you understand the elements of how to play the game and the actual gameplay mechanics, it's not complicated. It's just needlessly, tediously long. The mechanics they added to the game, a lot of them they could have just done away with, Forgot about Paladins. Yeah, Paladins is another one, yeah.
The raid begins with the summoning of your siege tower that will break through the enemy's outer shield and become your spawn point during the
Again,
raid.
think about it this way, like I was saying earlier. Chivalry 2, you bring the siege tower up to the wall and all of your guys, because it's 64 men, so it's 32v32 on Chivalry 2. So you've got, at any time, a half dozen to a dozen guys trying to climb the siege tower to go over the enemy's wall to capture that part of the map, right? At least in those games, the siege tower is effective. It makes an impact. Here, this is a 3v3 with no enemies for AI, defense of the base. And they have this giant siege tower with this weird cat ram head thing going on. And it doesn't, other than breaking through the barrier, which is all just cinematic because they can't destroy your ram, I don't think. I think it just, automatically is going to break down that wall in 3 hits. It serves no purpose other than for aesthetics. It's weird. Some sort of retarded bastard child, right? Nothing to chew on his bare bones. You'll get bored very fast. Yeah. That's what I feel like. I feel like the game itself is just you'd probably play a few matches and go, yeah, okay, whatever. That was something different. Reminds me how I should start chugging beers. I'm embarrassed for this game.
Getting raided. Jumping back to defend.
The defending team will be able to teleport back to their base. So be ready to fight.
You better be ready.
Once the shield has been broken,
But see, yeah, okay. So like I said, the shield breaker brings the battering ram. The battering ram takes about 30 seconds to hit the wall 3 or 4 times to break the barrier, but you can't actually stop the battering ram. So the entire thing taking that long is all just cinematic effect. It's just, you just stand around until the wall breaks. Why don't they make it where the battering ram takes a minute or 2 minutes to break the wall, and in that time the enemy can destroy it, you know? These are elements that just don't make any sense to me.
Begins. The enemy base contains objectives your team will need to sabotage and destroy. But in order to successfully penetrate a well-defended base, you'll need to
Oh, yeah,
use
here we
your
go with the
warden's
spear chucking
abilities
stuff.
and your raid tool. Every warden comes
Wait, did they
equipped
do
with
that
one-
again? Oh my god, is that Atticus character that Abubakar Salim is playing? That he's like the spear chucker. Oh my god. Gun feels OP for melee weapons to serve any purpose. I think melee, the only reason that it's even in the game is to like sneak up on enemies.
raid tool of their choice. You can choose between a rocket launcher for a more straightforward approach, a zipline gun.
If you did that, the game wouldn't end. True, Viscermat, very true. But however, the problem is the game doesn't end anyways, because I watched one of the matches where Atreus and Kata were playing with ABF. They had a match that lasted probably 35 to 40 minutes because in each raid, they didn't do enough damage on either team to like significantly damage the enemy's base. So they had to like raid it 3 times, you know? What's the point of reinforcing if there's raid weapons destroy the walls? It's a great question. I don't know.
Or a blast hammer when you just want to.
You know why? The reinforcing the wall mechanic is just another thing to do. That's what this game feels like. It's just a list of check boxes of tasks that they want you to complete for the sake of completing the tasks. I don't know.
All down.
Successfully penetrate. Giggity.
Once inside the base, your objective is to sabotage enemy generators.
I don't know if DSP could actually handle this game, to be honest. I don't know what game he could actually handle.
Unreal. Unfucking real. All those bullets magically miss from point blank range.
DSP makes me feel better when I'm having a bad day about my actual aim. I'm nowhere near as bad as DSP. No few of us here agree the poll the other night's minimum of 1 year was too long. You know what's funny? I'm going to have to eat my words again because I was saying on Twitter and in Atreus's or New Blackstreet stream this morning that I assume at some point in the next week that this game will hit 250,000 concurrent players. Ha! I don't know that it's going to break 100,000 at this point, even not during the weekend. Like, I was being, I thought, conservative due to the fact that it's a free-to-play game and there was so much anti-hype going into it that people would just play it for shits and giggles. I don't even think that's going to happen now. MOBA for 10-year-old casuals, much like Grounded, is a survival and exploration game for the same crowd. Yeah, I think Grounded's one that I never really cared for. I played it a little bit. I'm like, I prefer other survival games. Let me see. They didn't have any clue what the game loop should be. It's like it's gone through so many changes. Nobody knows why each mechanism exists. Exactly. DSP truck driver clip? Oh my god. No, but I need to find that one.
Blow this place sky high!
Once the bomb is planted, you'll need to hold the objective while the enemy team tries to flush you out
I'm defusing a bomb. Watch my back.
and disarm the charge. Each base has 2 generators.
I hate the design of these generators. I hate the design of the bomb. I hate all the like. Oh my god.
Does 35 damage to the enemy base.
Oh yeah, H Brown. Trust me, I've
You
got
can
so
get to
many
the
good
anchor
tweets
stone,
pulled up.
which is harder to assault, more heavily reinforced, and has a longer countdown. It completes.
Imagine Rainbow Six existing and trying to copy what they do and make it 3v3 instead on a bigger map. On a bigger map, you know. Yeah, 1 year was too long. I have to take it back. So this game, if it does exist in a year, it will not be at all what it once was.
It is like this tangible thing.
Oh yeah, you know it. You know it.
I love you. This many dollars worth.
Lol, tears of joy rolling on the floor laughing. What was that? DSP.
That be DSP. Thank you for the 2, Luigi. I appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, that was DSP in his infinite badassery. Game's numbers haven't gone up an inch overnight, so it has practically no presence in China. Well, dude, Chinese people are not going to play this game. They're going to play real MOBA games.
Completely destroys the enemy base, ending the match in victory.
There's something salvageable here. You're right. I don't think it's completely without any redeeming qualities.
There are other ways to do damage to the enemy base. For example, planting a shield breaker and starting a raid.
First new mode in
will
April,
damage the
every 2
base.
months to the end of the year.
And it's not just about attacking. Successfully defending your own base will damage the
Yeah,
attacking
Korean Cowboy,
team's
exactly.
base.
China's not
You
going to
can
waste their
win
time on this.
with a great defense. If a raid is successfully defended, the game is not over. Damage is done to your base, and that base health does not regenerate. Players will respawn at their base and ride out for another gear up phase.
On my mount. Let's ride.
I mean, the cycle of this taking as long as it does, and only having 3-person teams, you know, only 2 3-person teams on the map at any given point is insane to me. The little mana stone. Well, Visser, that's like their souls, right? So that's like their essence of their soul right there. It's just floating there. And so when you revive your teammates, you like grab into the orb and pull them back out. It's the weirdest thing. It doesn't have no positive, but it's trying to be 3 different games at the same time. Yeah. If this game exists a year from now, it will not resemble anything that we're currently looking at. A lot of people said this game should have taken another year to cook.
As the match progresses, all the loot in the map
More than 3,
upgrades.
yeah.
Paladin here.
The weapons get stronger, the armor and equipment improves, and the stakes get higher. A match can go anywhere from 1
Oh,
raid
DB,
to
that's
4,
nasty.
which means matches can last anywhere from 8 minutes to around 30 minutes.
To around
If the
30.
teams
I
are
swear to God, I've seen matches last longer than that. No, so DB, to be honest, I'm not even over here like trying to hype up any of the parts of this game that even work, because even then, at the most basic level, okay, so the gunplay is fine. Guess what? There's a million games that already exist that have decent gunplay. So when I say that there are parts that are salvageable, I'm not looking at this going, oh, they're going to turn this thing around and it's going to be like the biggest multiplayer shooter of all time. No. But it is a game. It does function. It does run when people can actually get into the match. Already burnt. Restart and fix the recipe, maybe. Characters and gameplay look better than Concord. This one is free to play, and it also has a free battle pass. So my question is, how badly overpriced are the non-battle pass cosmetics if it's a free to play game and the battle pass is free? Like, imagine some of those skins are probably really pricey. Throw it away, start from scratch. I mean, that's one way to do it.
Back in the fight.
Winning a match will often come down to a clutch bomb plant with a few seconds left on the clock.
Someone call for a demolition man.
Her name's Condor. Oh my God.
Or a tight team fight with mobility, positioning, and shooting skills out in the open world. So that's Highguard. We're excited for you to try our unique take on this new PvP raid shooter.
Unique.
All you need to know at first is loot up, grab the shield breaker, and raid the enemy base.
I mean, okay, so that was from the showcase this morning. That's basically, for anybody who's not aware of the gameplay mechanics of this game, that is what you do in order to play the game. Oh my God, what is going on with this screen? Yo, I'm gonna have to refresh all of my browser tabs. Screw that. Screw that. Hang on a second. Let me do this. Let me close. I'm gonna close Brave browser. Oh no, I can't do that. Oh, I can't close it because then I won't have all my tabs here anymore. Damn. Y'all, this sucks ass. I don't know why I gotta refresh all my tabs. I'm gonna go blind from having all these white lights in my face. I'm gonna stroke out, I swear to God. Holy crap. Probably because my computer went to standby when I was in the shower. Damn. This is why I use dark mode, so I don't get blinded. You bastard. Battering ram for Honor Siege game mode, basically. Oh, no, dude, For Honor was awesome, though. Cliff B helped them to make this game to fail, possibly. Quite possibly. All right, let me switch over to this while I'm blinding myself. Yeah, I don't know. Basically, my take on it is, even if there are people that enjoy what the game is in its current state, which is fine. If people enjoy the game in its current state, I don't care. You'll be the only person playing it pretty soon. I just don't see the merit. I don't see 4 years of working on that game for what, you know? It just seems crazy to me. And the amount of people defending this game and going nuts. I'm talking legitimately going, why are you guys all hating on this game? Go do something else with your life. It's just a game, right? It's crazy. So right away from Hero High, you see the official Highguard launch showcase was posted to YouTube, and they instantly turned off comments. They also disabled the live chat replay. X Factor Gaming says, remember that game everyone prejudged and made fun of at the end of the Game Awards? 95,000 players on a weekday. Now, can it maintain or build is the million-dollar question. To answer that is no. You haven't seen much defense? Oh, they're out there. I'm going to show you. Don't worry. Chrome restart. But see, the problem, Black Cat, is I have other Chrome tabs open. So if I mess with these ones, like if I closed all of these or whatever, I'm worried that I would lose all of my tabs that are open. Hey, Geekazu. Like a Japanese kid watching Pokemon. You're not lying about my eyes being sensitive. Sound like Dr. Whipples. Oh my god. Yeah, my bad about the seizure warning. Few positive reviews I saw on Steam Art. It's not that bad, and give it a chance. Here, guys, in this market with the amount of games that exist, what's the point in giving something a chance? That's what I want to know. Nobody cares about Peak. It doesn't speak. Well, they probably assumed it was going to go higher. Can it maintain? The answer is no. So, guys, here's what we're looking at. Here is what we are currently looking at. We've got this lovely little line here going all the way to here, sitting at 19,000 players right now. So clearly we're not going to see an increase in players tonight. That's not going to happen. Steam reviews are a mess. Honestly, this is probably the biggest issue for this game, is not just like the lack of players, but the mostly negative reviews on Steam. Because if you look at the reviews, like one of the top ones here says, I mostly feel bad for the devs. Game clearly wasn't designed or prepared on this for this level of scrutiny. Everything is blurry and unclear. The map is the size of Latvia, but you only have 3 players, so most of your time is spent running around the map looking for something to kill. It's saying it's a fast-paced shooter, but also the merchant makes you go mine rare earth materials just to go buy stuff. The characters are profoundly bland and uninteresting, and the art direction is just like they dumped every cool idea into a vat. What if there was magic? What if there were guns? What if you could ride a bear? What if there was Excalibur? What if there was a giant siege tower? The game isn't fun and it isn't interesting. All that said, it's free. Like, that pretty much sums it up. Should have an option to. I will test that out one time when I'm not on stream, Black Cats. You probably are right. My issue is if I do anything to mess with these and it closes them, I'm going to lose all of my tabs that I have open. Which, as we get into the rest of the stream, will be fine because I've got so many tabs. I don't think we're going to get through all these. I've got so freaking many up here. So, according to Insider Gaming, Highguard was meant to be shadow dropped, but Jeff Keighley wanted it at the Game Awards. Once again, we are putting the blame on Jeff Keighley. I freaking love it. Like, I think it's cheap and dirty to try to, like, bury Jeff Keighley with this, but at the same time, the man has basically buried himself because he has been shilling for this game hardcore since the Game Awards, right? Yeah, poor Jeff. I don't even feel sorry for Jeff. He's made his own bed, but they are dumping on him as hard as they possibly can. I don't think this is a day sleeping case. No, H. Brown, I was wrong. I said 250,000 could be the peak for this game. I don't think it's going to break 100,000 at this point now. It's absolutely insane. Oh yeah, no, Korean Cowboy, I will never feel sorry for him, but he absolutely is getting the raw end of the deal. Mostly in part to the content abuse the game has received for its lack of marketing since the Game Awards announcement. We now know why. It was meant to be a shadow drop. During behind-the-scenes presentation with press and creators, Vice President of Product and Publishing Jason Torfin and lead designer Mohammed Alavi sat down with attendees of the event to answer questions. One of the main questions was around the game's marketing, or should we say lack thereof, and that's because the game was always intended to follow a similar release to Apex Legends, a shadow drop. However, sometime in 2025, the Game Awards host Jeff Keighley put a spanner in the works because he was stoked for the game and wanted to reveal it. Let's see, Tofin said, I think the fact that we're independent and that we're smart with how we run our business and build our team means that we have those luxuries. We're not beholden to shareholders or any sort of corporate shenanigans, and it allows us to have that sort of confidence. And from the get-go, you can't bank on commercial success right out of the gate. If you do that, you're probably going to fail most of the time. Yes, but you made a free-to-play game that nobody wants. How are you going to make your money? I don't think he ruined it specifically, Viscerman. I think it was always going to flop. I had a hemorrhoid flare-up. I blame Jeff, but he might have given it to you, to be fair. He's not a gamer. He is a Nepo baby, from what I understand, who, because he grew up with a lot of money and liked video games, kind of had an instant in with the press or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I think it would have done worse, H. Brown. I think, honestly, the only hype this game had going for it was anti-hype. The only, the only attention this game was getting was because of negativity. If this game shadow dropped in this current environment where people are still playing Arc Raiders, the players for Call of Duty and Battlefield are starting to dwindle because people are dissatisfied with those franchises, throwing another non-identified hero shooter at them and making it more like a MOBA, that just never would have worked, Oh, they ran broadcaster networks. Okay. He became too big and focused on Hollywood. Basically, that's what happens to most people. Says, that's why we were going to shadow drop, let the game speak for itself. It was always the plan. And then Jeff came in the past year and he played the game. He really liked it, was stoked. We had an opportunity. We decided, okay, we can make a trailer that would be in our shadow drop. And so the one we put there at the Game Awards was the one that would be the first thing you saw in the shadow drop, followed by 25 minutes of other context. Unfortunately, that trailer was meant to be the thing to quote unquote educate. Yikes. Trigger Point says, if Highguard was shadow dropped as intended instead of being shown as the final announcement at the Game Awards, people wouldn't have had these high expectations for it and treat it like it should be treated. Just another multiplayer shooter. Good job, Jeff. But I still say that it got more attention because of the Game Awards, because of the negativity. If this game had had none of the negative press, it would have had 0 players at launch. I mean, okay, maybe a couple thousand. That's it. Only 8 characters of 3v3 team play. But to be honest, Victor, if they added more characters at launch, then it would just make things more muddy and more confusing. I actually preferred Apex Legends when it only had like 9 characters. Now that it has like 20, I don't even enjoy playing the game anymore. But, if a good game has at its core a good group of characters or heroes or, tactical assignments for each character, you can survive with a small rotation of characters and then slowly add them in as necessary to keep players interested. This game, it just seems like it has so many things going on all at once that it's confusing people. It's making them not know what to expect from the game. It's putting unreal expectations on the game. And unfortunately, they can't live up to it. Oh, yeah, Jeff bringing it to the spotlight made it worse. No, we're never going to get Jeff Keighley's apology, but you're not the only one that wants it. Yeah, his taste in games are sure mediocre if this is that one, for sure. PC Gamer saying, Highguard is fine when you don't have an internet in your ear telling you it's nasty. Of course, Morgan Park sucks. Says, it's well made, but I don't see Highguard becoming a habit. No shit, Sherlock. Crazy that you could predict the future. Like, wow, shocking, right? Let's set aside the noxious cloud of internet surrounding Highguard for a second, ignoring those overwhelmingly negative Steam reviews full of folks who've played it for less than an hour, and pretend Highguard is a new free-to-play game that just came out today. Hey, Highguard's out. I played around 6 hours. It's got slick gunplay and neat 3v3 mode that I've never seen anywhere else, and a business model that sounds less scummy than most free shooters. It's pretty fun. I don't think I love it. Okay. All right, dude. It's Nib. Oh my god, for real? PC Gamer Infamous authors of AC Odyssey's penises ranked. Nice. PC Gamer translation, Highguard is fine if you ignore the actual gamer options or opinions that we despise. Exactly. Yeah, if you don't know what a good game looks like, I'm sure. The funny thing too, I'm not going to try to go through IGN's review because it's still a work in progress, but you would expect that IGN would have their review and their score out by now. They don't even have a score on this game yet. They have not given it a score because it's got review is under work. They're still working on their review, so they don't want to give it a score yet. IGN is probably terrified about what score to give this game because on one hand they know if we give it a 7, everyone's going to make fun of us. Anything more than a 7, they're going to call us a shill. Too low, and it's going to make us look like we hate the big corporation slop. Yeah, I don't need 500 hours to know it's dog shit exactly. Yeah, I'm waiting for a 7. That's what it's going to be. They're going to give it a 7. You just know it, because anything else would be way too divisive for IGN. Oh, here you go. Some of the Jeff Keighley tweets. Last night at 9 p.m. See you tomorrow. Him tweeting out that Polygon said Highguard isn't DOA. In fact, after 4 hours, I'm convinced it's one of the best new shooters in years. That's crazy. One of the people that got flown out to play it said, "I've played Highguard and Jeff Keighley will be vindicated. It's an exceptionally well-crafted shooter that combines familiar Apex-style gameplay with a totally fresh, high-stakes objective with dramatic highs and lows of a competitive shooter." And they tried to community note this and said, it stated at the end of the article, travel and lodging was provided. It's an ad and should be treated as such. Nice. Might as well double down and go 10 out of 10. Well, yeah, why not, Korean Cowboy? Exactly. Decades of the free-to-play business model has brought us to Highguard. Exactly. Exactly. And here's the thing. There are still good free-to-play games, but making one that would have been better off coming out 10 years ago in this current environment is not going to work. Game needs to be cut off some mechanics with mining and loot. Just make 6v6 fight over the base. Exactly. If they did that, Victor, you'd have a much better game. You'd have something that was actually decent to play, right? Detective Seeds, somebody who I've run into before, not a fan, says, "Hey, Jeff Keighley, I was wondering if you financially backed Highguard during development or own some percent of the company. Obviously, you don't have to answer. Just curious if you have any incentive with Wildlight Entertainment if they hit certain earning thresholds." He says, absolutely not. Jay's Gaming World says, his involvement in glazing of it is beyond abnormal. Like, the whole situation with him hyping this is weird. Agreed. It's been very strange to watch. Today, he tweeted out thoughts on Highguard so far at 1 p.m. And then, of course, I responded. I said, thoughts? Now, at the time, there were still 65,000 people playing it. It wasn't where it is right now. Where are we under 18,000 yet? 18,241, guys. This thing is dropping like a freaking rock. This is insane. Like, holy crap. Let me see here. Legendary Drops quote tweeted and said, "Guys, we found the modern audience." Exactly. Exactly, that's it. Even Tom Henderson quote tweeting Jeff Keighley and laughing at him with the Uno reverse card when Jeff Keighley tweeted this saying, "In 48 hours, I'll be accepting your apologies." That's just crazy. Big Fry said, "Welp, I'm gonna need an apology for A, wasting my time at the Game Awards, and B, wasting my time watching you hype this up all week. Brutal." Kingard says, "After careful consideration, I've decided not to endorse your park." I mean, that's fantastic. Rooster over here says, "How bros hype you up for the middest game ever made." Oh, community notes are the best. It's dropping every passing minute goes by. Dude, that's the most insane thing right now. And it's not, guys, people are not playing this game to hate it, leaving a bad review, uninstalling it, and then continuing to play the game to hate it or not coming back to it. People are not coming back to the game because the game's not interesting enough. The people that are not coming back, sure, there's probably 50,000 people who played this game who never would have because they wanted to crap on the game. But that only leaves like 40,000 people who would legitimately want to play the game, and they're not increasing their player base. It's in one day dropped by over 70,000 players. Insane. They dropped it on a weird day. I will 100% give them that. But why drop it on a day like this? You could call it, okay, shadow drop. They wanted to let it cook. They wanted to let it kind of start to permeate and let people talk about it all week long. Get to the weekend and go, "Hey, have you tried this great, amazing new game yet? Here, you should install it. I'll play it with you," right? Maybe that's what they were going for, was like this organic word of mouth thing, letting it kind of go viral. Not the way it worked. Not the way that it happened, And of those people, think about it. Of those 95,000 people, how many thousands of those people were streamers? There was probably at least 5,000 to 10,000 streamers worldwide streaming that game. I mean, that's probably a conservative number. So of that number of people playing it, a huge percentage was probably just people trying to get other people to watch them play it. What else we got here? Looks like we owe Jeff no apologies. Exactly. Oh, here you go. This is an interesting one. This person, Teresa Razumkova, who is the character outsourcing manager at Wildlight Entertainment, showed this and said, "2 of the games I worked on being top 2 on Twitch right now. I feel pretty damn lucky." And I quote tweeted and said, "Who's gonna tell her?" Most games you'd see a heartbeat pattern and not a flat line. Yeah, this is not. So like I said, if the majority of people were playing this game to hate on it, those are players you're never going to get back. So that line that went straight down like this is never going to go back up like this. It's going to go like little bumps in the road, It's never gonna go back up. Keely out here collecting scalps. Yep. Oh, here we got Atreus. Yep.
Being called a shield. Highguard has lost half of its player base since launching 4 hours ago. Hot start, reaching nearly 100,000 players concurrent on Steam, and now they've fallen. Why? Because the game was nowhere near as good as the shields tried to tell you it was. Y'all niggas was up there taking them trips. Y'all was getting them hotels, getting the swag, getting the chains, getting your backs blown out, getting some folk. And you was like, yeah, we'll tell everybody the game is good. Shit is ass, man. We just played it for 4 hours, man. This shit is ass. I mean, let me stop grifting. It's not ass. It's just generic. It's exactly what we thought it was when we first seen it at the game.
And that's how I feel about it too. The game might not be the worst thing ever. It might not be like Concord levels of bad, but it's nothing beyond what we assumed it was going to be. Shadow dropping mini hero shooter gamers has played over decades will never work now. Yeah. 3v3 PvP is that skill levels are going to be empty. Single good player will be bored. He can't farm good clips. Okay, Viscermat, think about this. I was thinking about this earlier when they were playing, because they had to play with the random because it was just Atreus and Kata playing together. You would then have to rely on that random third person to not get bored with your match if it was dragging on past like that 30-minute mark and not ditch out and leave you behind. So think about that. If you are playing with somebody and hoping and praying that they don't get bored or get disconnected, all of a sudden, if they do, and you're still mid-match, you've now wasted 20 or 30 minutes of your time on a match, and now you're at number 3-2. Hey, Patriot! Highguard having a ton of viewers watching it is not a flex. That's people watching. They're not playing. It's not really a flex anyone should be using, especially for a free-to-play game.
Game Awards. Very generic. Very, very, very generic. And I think that if you respect any of these content creators that went out there and took all that free stuff and tell you that this game was good, you should roast them into oblivion right now, nigga.
Yeah, and we have some of those people too. Kilted Cajun said, what's the ETA on Highguard review bombed articles? I haven't seen any yet, but I haven't gone looking for them in the last few minutes here. But here you go. Guys defending this game. Ben Smith, marketing manager at joinindie.io, world's first power wash simulator fan. Mentally happier than I visually appear. That's actually kind of a funny tagline, not gonna lie. This really irritates me. Play Highguard has been out for an hour and most reviews, especially negative ones, have less than 10 minutes played. I have no stake in this game's success or failure and barely had an interest in it before today. I just can't stand how people have had a raging hatred for it since the reveal for basically no reason. Steam has the best consumer review system of any platform, and for some reason people are abusing it just because they saw a trailer they didn't love. Gonna check it out later tonight. Okay, good for you, buddy. Epic Mike quote tweeted and said, is the review bombing in the room with us right now? Legendary Drop says, hasn't played it, but has the stones to call out the reviews. Most reviews are fair criticism about performance, 3v3, game feel, and server times. Even if they weren't, the customer has no obligation to give anything a fair chance, nor should they be shamed for their opinion. Exactly. Consumer first, right? It's cross-platform, free-to-play. I give it a year, man, maybe 2 max. I'm feeling generous today. Well, hey, that's... At this point now, I'm going to say a year. If they don't drastically overhaul the game, you're probably looking at a year. Tops. He said he had no stake in the game, so why is he putting his nose in something he could have ignored? Isn't it funny when they always do that? They tell you, don't get in the middle of it, don't criticize this game. You're a bad, evil person for criticizing this game. How dare you? But then they turn around and say, well, I haven't played it either. Paul Taffy. Steam should probably lock reviews, so you have to post them, say, longer than 10 minutes after launch. Not to say it's going to be some huge positive swing, but come on. Hey, Paul Tassi, fuck off. Rilo Gaming says, I actually think you should have to own a game for 2 hours before you can review it. Even if you refund it within those 2 hours, then what good would that do? What difference would that make if they still refund the game? You shouldn't be able to leave a Steam review within 5 minutes of owning a game. Once you sell something, it's up to the customer to determine how they view it, how they enjoy it or didn't enjoy it. 10 minutes after launch doesn't change anything. You still got to install the game. As if Steam would follow whatever Paul Tassi would say. No, I think Gabe would tell him to go kick rocks. Anemo, I think I've heard of that one. I think we've talked about it. Yeah. Yeah, if Steam listened to these people, they would lose tons of players. Exactly. Isn't it odd how truly great games never get review bombed? Facts. Game Dad 7 here says, Highguard is another example of why I tire with online discourse regarding gaming showcases. The rise of anti-fans is huge. Back in the day, if something wasn't for you, you focused on the stuff you like. Now people put as much energy into hating something as they do what they like. Because it's fun. Because looking at a train wreck is always going to fascinate people. That is human psychology. Shaming people for being human is the most retarded low IQ take you can ever have. Boring watching on stream, mini mechanics feel like a chore with no fun in them. Why do you need body guns and ammo when you can loot them? Right, exactly. After playing it all day, the game needs work, plus 3v3 is dumb with how big the maps are. Also, why is there a mini game for hitting rocks? Dude, exactly. That's my thing is, if they had gone with one direction for the game and perfected a few pieces of it, they probably would have had a decent game. And instead, they tried to like do so many different things that just don't fit together. You can give a thumb up on a video without watching it entirely. Exactly. Oh, yeah. Fran Mirabella is another guy who I'm pretty sure was sent a free ticket to go play the game. So here's what his big brain take was, okay? Here you go. You think Paul Tassi zesty? Oh, he's super zesty. Fran Mirabella said, first day Steam user reviews of the PvP shooter Highguard are rolling in. There's 13,500 global reviews at the time of this posting. Reviewer playtime, 49% played less than an hour. 18% played more than 2 hours. 3% played more than 4 hours. Viewer recommendations by playtime. Less than more than 1 hour, mostly negative. Less than 2 or more hours, mixed. Why is it? I think it's just 1+ hours. I hate that he used the minus there. It's throwing me off. Okay, so 1+ hours, mostly negative. 2+ hours, mixed. 4+ hours, mixed. 5+ hours, mostly positive. In total, 3,200 positive, 13,500 negative. So I'm like, all right, to summarize, people who thought the game sucked played it less time than people who thought Highguard was amazing. Absolutely amazing analysis, right? The massive investment by these companies into making garbage has become more and more noticeable. Exactly. People are actually paying attention now. That's the difference. If there's only 3% that played more than 4 hours, it said, exactly. Stop blaming the people for finding your crappy game boring. Maybe make a more interesting game. I don't know. Big Fry had a really hot take. We're going to get into his hot take now. Steam incentivizes you to return sooner than later. Patriot, this is a free-to-play game, though. No purchase necessary. So, 50% positive reviews, just edgy trolling, saying the game made them touch grass and become gay. Okay, so... Exactly. So Toteman, that kind of goes back to my original points. Let's go back to the Steam DB for a second. All right, we'll refresh it. Oh my God, guys, it's down to less than 17,500. All right, 97,000 peak concurrent players. Shave off like 50,000 people, probably 50,000, I would say is a conservative estimate, who were only morbidly curious about this game or who wanted to play it to stream, to troll, whatever, and leave a negative review. That means that the majority of people playing this game had no intention of ever coming back. So you can say that the reviews, it's review bombing or whatever, but what that means is there is genuinely no authentic audience worth talking about for the game itself. They just don't exist. It's not there. If you take away all the trolls, take away all the shits and gigglers, take away all the negative reviewers, take away everybody who only touched this game because they were morbidly fascinated with how, bad the press around the game was, these are people who never planned on coming back. So that means that this game has no organic audience at all. Even with all the people covering it, talking about whatever. Obviously, the longer you play, the more likely you will like it. I mean, it makes sense. If you enjoy something, you're going to play it longer. But Big Fry said, if I can be real, and this is pretty hot take right here. If I can be real, I actually think Concord was the better FPS mechanically out of the two, and that's effing saying something. When I first heard him say that, I needed a minute to stop and think about that. I'm like, okay, the one thing I'll give him is a lot of people said that the problem with Concord wasn't the gunplay, that the combat was actually really good. I used to assume free-to-play games had to be spyware. Times have changed. Well, the thing is, Mr. Matt, and I don't think I have a single tweet or post that brought up that talks about this. This game, much like Battlefield 6 beta, required you to turn on or off TPM. I can't remember which one it was. I'd never messed with it before, and I had to do that. I think you have to enable TPM in order to play the game. So this automatically had a lot of people going, why the hell do I have to do that, you know? Some do, but so do some paid games. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, see, Korean Cowboy, I get it. Not all free-to-play games suck, and not all paid games are good, you know? Two things can be true, right? This guy Harley here, he's kind of angry at Big Fry. I've seen him in his mentions a few times. Says opinions like these are why you should try things out for yourself instead of listening to content creators. Now, mind you, Big Fry is a gaming YouTuber. He plays video games. He's developed his own game. He's not just over here just for shits and giggles, just to crap on the game, right? He says, keep crying about people not liking the game. You'll be the only one logging on in no time. Haha, this tweet triggered so many people already. Guys, I'm comparing trash to shit. Oh my God, play Deadlock, y'all. Deadlock is a fascinating one. Fascinating. I said that kind of zesty. It's a fascinating one because a game that you have to request access to, and I think it's still in alpha, if I'm not mistaken, but I think it's being developed by Valve. I'm pretty sure Valve is the one actually making the game, and you just don't hear much about it. It's crazy. Yeah. And you know, the thing about it is, it's not just Concord's $40 price tag that was the problem. It was the what do you get for the $40? Arc Raiders proved that the $40 price tag for a game of a certain quality is not the problem. People have to feel confident in what they're buying. They have to feel confident in what they're spending their money on. That's it. It's that simple. No one will ever pay to play Highguard. Exactly. It's really rare to find a good one because if one does come around, it'll get bought out and squeezed. All right, Oblithia, no worries. Like I said, I'm not making this a super long one tonight. We only have this one topic we're covering, but it's too good not to talk about it. Okay, so here's another one. Ryan T. Brown says, very odd how people seem to be willing Highguard to fail. The game doesn't interest me personally, but there's this horrible toxic trait some gamers on social media have where they actively enjoy and pine for video games to fail. I think some enjoy the drama more than playing. Okay, let me say something. Make it very, very blatantly clear. As somebody who understands that if it bleeds, it leads. Bad news is, going to sell better than good news. All those things. Negativity is better than positivity when it comes to clicks and all that kind of stuff. All that being said, if I didn't have a ass load of video games that I love, that I still play, that I played when I was a kid, and everything else, we wouldn't have a single thing to talk about because video games wouldn't exist if they were all bad. There was an era where there was more bangers than not. And to be fair, there are still good games that come out every single year. It's just that there's a lot of shit that comes out also. But to say this whole thing where it's like, I think some enjoy the drama more than playing, if your game is so bad that the drama around the game is better than the choice to play your game, that's a you problem. That means you failed as a game developer to make a game that was interesting. That's not a problem for the gamers. That's not a problem for people talking about it, enjoying the train wreck, enjoying the shit show. That is entirely a you problem as a game developer, as a publisher, not putting something out that can beat the drama, that can actually entertain people beyond, 5 minutes of shits and giggles. Oh my God, here we are. We're caught up to my tabs that I have to refresh. We're halfway there. Yeah, no one's willing Highguard to fail when the game itself did it on its own. Well, I still say there's no reason people need to feel like, oh, I'm a bad person because I enjoy the drama about something. In life, there are going to be times where the quality of a product is so bad that the drama around said product is going to be more entertaining than the product itself. And whether or not you think that video game is or is not an art, and I think video games are art, I think you can absolutely lump them into the art category, they are first and foremost a product. They're an experience. They are something that you have to sell, that you have to market. You have to make money. You have to pay your bills. And if you don't do those things, you're not going to have a job making video games. So if your art isn't marketable, who cares how much you love it? Who cares how, bad it feels to have people shit on your game? You should have made a better game, Ubisoft drama? Yeah. My epilepsy. Hey, at least you're not the one looking at it. All you're seeing is my pale white face reflecting it. That's a you problem, exactly. I'm so sick and tired of it. People are like, oh, think of the poor devs. Look, I know developers who've been laid off who are good developers who had a bad rap, not a bad rap, sorry. They got a bad deal. And unfortunately, they're currently looking for work, even though they're talented and they're not insane. It happens. Everybody at some point experiences economic hardship, unemployment, uncertainty in their job. It just shit happens, right? Unfortunately, for some weird reason, people perceive it as if you criticize a bad product, you still need to give recognition to the fact that somebody spent a lot of time making bad product. And it's like, if your kid isn't very good at art, but they make you a drawing, you look at it and say, they love me, they made me a drawing, so I'm going to tell them that that's the most amazing drawing I've ever seen. Whether objectively you can look at it and say, no, that doesn't look very good. But your kid made it with the intent to get a affirmation from you. That's not a product. That's your child looking for affirmation from their parents. That's a normal human tendency. I don't have to give affirmation to strangers who have $400 million to make a game that is not entertaining to anybody. That's not me. That's not my job. We thank you for your suffering. I'm all done. I got all caught up. We might get one enjoyable game for one group of people, like extractor shooter fans. It has been a real long time since we had great RPGs come out regularly. KCD 1 and 2 were the last. Yeah. Yeah, Victor, the only character that I find to be a really good, interesting character model is the Scarlet character, the one that has like the midriff thing. And that's only because she has a really cool blend of musculature and femininity and a cool looking outfit. Like you could throw her into like Masters of the Universe and she'd fit pretty well, I think. So again, we do have some characters in the game that I think could legitimately be in better games on their own. That Atticus character or whatever his name is, dog shit. That's like Mr. Generic Man, you know? All right. This guy here, DX from YouTube, says, Highguard's disaster launch will only serve to further the already oceanic divide between gamers and influencers. A shame, really. I'd advise everyone to stop attaching themselves to games just to snub malcontents. It just damages everyone's reputations. I don't even understand what point he's trying to make. Kilted Cajun quote tweeted and said, question the integrity of a content creator that got flown out to a catered to and controlled environment sampling of a new game. Oh no, what an insult that is. How could you? The horror. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of people got flown out. Khalif Positivity Peddler Adams, known as Queef Adams around here, got flown out. I'm very excited about playing more Highguard. I think Wildlight has something special and really understands how to build a game that is player first and tripling down on fun. Check out my thoughts here and subscribe. Nope. No Khalif. Nobody subscribing. So in a response to Atreus, J Viper showed this and says, Jeff left him on red, big booty access denied. Yep. Khalif Adams says, it was great to see you at the event. Let's get some games in this week. I don't think that's happening. I think Jeff is going to go hide in a cave or something for a while. Haircut John Highguard. Oh, at least he doesn't have like the full-on Killmonger, you know? So shocked the bald moron was wrong. Yeah, Equilibrium, I would play it. The only problem is I have to limit my time tonight. I'm trying to keep this... I'm trying to be done by like 11-ish. So otherwise, I would have played his video. And besides, I have like another 20 tweets brought up here. So it's like, I'm sure that we're going to have some redundancies. But I'm going to make sure to check out his video in the morning. I always try to hype up his videos. Because Kilted Cajun is in one of those negative YouTube algorithms recently where you put out a video that should get more views and it gets like 100 for 24 hours. It's just shit. So Kata tweeted his own post and he said, I was 1,000% right, by the way. Is that a Kick follower? Official Gambling Academy. Oh my God. No. We are not doing gambling streams. Go away. He's trying hard to suck up his way into something. Remember, Khalif Adams is one of those boys in that Blackwall Gaming documentary they're making. In Jeff's defense, I think he understands the Game Awards show more than the publishers do, but he also treats it like a business opportunity. Yeah. Can I tell you why YouTube keeps pushing movies on you lately? I have no idea. If I understood the YouTube algorithm, I wouldn't have sat at barely 2,000 subs gamed all of 2025 and gone under 12,000 earlier or late last year to where I finally clawed myself back above 12,000. I understand nothing about YouTube. Absolutely zero. All right, let's end this poll, and then we're going to start a new one. Going to start a new one because before we continue, because I do want to get through the rest of these tweets, but before we continue, I got to pull up this one right here. Due to my love-hate relationship with 1348 ex-voto, however the hell you say it, I need to know something from you guys. I have a question. Millions of views in our hearts? Well, I have millions of views across the last 3 years. The problem is that my views for 2025 dropped massively. All right, let's do this one here. So, I have been very critical of this game, 1348 ex voto. I saw this post earlier today, and it says to all content creators, requests for 1348 ex voto are now open. You can fill out the form below. So, with these kind of situations, where you have to, give them all of your information, you give them your socials, you give them your YouTube account, you give them all that stuff. They then look at all that, they look at your viewership, they look at, the kind of topics you cover, and have to decide if they want to give you a key. I've been up in their mentions a few times. I had the most liked tweet in response to their Modern Agenda one. So clearly they are going to know once I put in my username who I am and the shit that I've said about them. But I'm like, you know what? Why the hell not, Oh my god, don't tell me the stream died. No! What? Motherfucker. Yo, someone check kick. I don't think it was the lesbians. Oh my god. Wait, why does my phone say 19 watching? Yo, it's just buffering. Both dead? So it's a Streamlabs thing. So it's my internet or Streamlabs. It's like home. Wait a second, I can see the stream on my phone though. Guys, refresh, everybody refresh. Yeah, you guys, just refresh. Yeah, stream lag. Yeah, there's always like a tiny delay. I could set it to like super low latency. I might try that in the future. My stream is set to low latency. Freezing up on YouTube and going pixel. That's weird. The stream looks perfectly fine for me on YouTube. I've got to open my phone right now. It's not even buffering on my phone. Y'all, I'm sorry. I swear, one of these days, the only downside to moving to this house, and I say the only downside, besides obviously the extra rent, was this internet situation is complete dog shit. It was buffering, now working. They're synced. Okay. Very delayed. Skip ahead. See if you can skip ahead, guys. Yeah. Everybody refresh. Enjoy another Planet Fitness ad. Ew, are they running Planet Fitness ads on my channel? Gross. It's fine for now. Well, then let's get back to this. Let's get back to this. Where was I? Think we're somewhere right about here. Okay, yeah. We're good now? All right. Then let's power through this and let's make haste because I don't want to have the stream crap out again before we get all done. That killed me the other day when we were streaming and it crashed like right before this last segment. It was really killing me. Test. I can see your words, Patriot. Your words on my screen. I can see them with my 2 eyes here. Read this comment, LOL, to see how long is the delay. Thought naughty words about the night of certain proclivities. Yes, I forgot. I forgot in my video because I was planning on doing like a basically like not a script, but putting some notes together of like things I wanted to highlight in the video, and then I just ran out of time. I wanted to put the term medieval muff muncher in there, and I just didn't get around to it. I was like, I even wrote that in a note on my phone. I'm like, if I died tomorrow and somebody saw the word medieval muff muncher in my phone, they'd be like, what the fuck is this guy on? Right? No. So unfortunately, we didn't get to it. Request a key just for the grift because you're already drama farmer and grifter. I mean, seriously though, why not? They'll check your channel and refuse for sure. And then there's always Keymailer. I'm on pretty good standing with Keymailer. So if they do go ahead and put those keys out there, I might get one. I think my phone is fine. TV account buffered. Yeah, Patriot, try, if you have the ability to, try skipping ahead. I noticed when it came back on my phone that it was pretty massively delayed. So, anyways, Kata said 1,000% right. Anyone who came from that event glazing this game only did that so they could stay on the whitelist and continue to get goodie bags. Oh, God, I don't know if you guys saw this one. You talked about Xvato? I did. I talked about it in a couple of videos. I put a video out last night. God, it took me forever to get that thing done. I think I put it out like 11:30 my time. 45-second delay sounds terrible. It should be more like a 15 to 20 second at the most. Anyways, Dr. Disrespect lied about going to the Highguard thing. Big Fry says maybe his invite got lost in the Twitch whispers with the actual fuck. And then, of course, Dr. Disrespect came out and bragged about it. Tim the Tatman and Ninja's teammates wanted to quit Highguard after not even playing a full game. Not even paid streamers want to play it. I actually haven't watched this clip yet. I'd ask for the key? Yeah, why the hell not? Hey, if any of you guys somehow request a key and get one, don't buy it. Don't buy the game. But if you guys get a key somehow, like a free key sent to you or something, and you want to send it my way, let me know. I'm all for the grift and all that of playing the game and shitting on it. That's fine. But I don't want a bunch of people to go out and buy a bunch of copies of the game. Like, let's not do that.
Hey guys, I'm sorry. This game is very, very boring.
Oh, he's gonna leave. Our random? Yeah. You're gonna leave?
Bro, I don't know. This game is...
Yo, bro played one game and he's out, dude.
I don't know if it was too quiet to hear it or not, but the guy was playing one game and he's like, yeah, guys, I'm gonna leave. I just can't with this game. We're stuck at 3 or 4 minute delay. That's insane, man. That is nuts. Let's see, this guy, a Deadlock fan account says, are we dead ass with this dialogue? Here's the thing about video game dialogue. I don't want to be too critical about this because most video games have dreadful dialogue these days. It's not a unique problem for Highguard or anything else.
The most important thing you can find is improved armor. If you come across an armor chest, the blue ones, grab some. Great, that's a red chest. Now find a blue chest. The most important thing you can find is...
Oh my god. I know the doc would quit a game he dislikes, but that's part of his image. Yeah, exactly. About a 10-second difference between Kick and YouTube. Yeah. Objectifier, I'm sure don't want to click on anything else this account has on their page. Says, I appreciate the Highguard devs for creating a character that's destined to be in more Blender animations than active players in her game. See, what I'm saying about this character model actually looks really good. Like, I'm not even trying to, like, you know, hype this up more than it needs to be. I genuinely like the look of this character a lot. If all the characters, both male and female, had the same appeal of this, this is like, compare this shit to Concord, guys. Compare this to Concord. Oh, it really lags like 2 to 3 minutes? Damn. Like, I can't imagine a game with a bunch of characters that look similar to this and having good gameplay having any problem selling. Shirako Gaming says Highguard is what everyone expected it to be. Not exactly a ringing endorsement. Madam Savvy talking about the whole TPM thing, the only 3v3 modes, all this other stuff. I've downloaded it, but supposedly you have to change security options, and if it makes me, I will uninstall. Otherwise, we'll try it on stream. Again, a lot of people unhappy with the security requirements. Seriously, you're being told a chest is red or blue. Does it assume color blindness? I don't even know. All I know is most modern video games dialogue is trash. Ashen1 says, certain reviewers and Jeff Keighley hyped Highguard a lot, but my experience with it so far is pretty rough. Constant crashes, bad optimization, 3v3 raids feel absolutely boring. The game really needed a mode with more players. Endless, not enough player messages when queuing. Nothing here that makes me want to invest more time, so I'm moving on. He's not the only one, too. Kata said, Highguard is one of the most boring and uninspired games I've played in a long time. I'm so serious when I say this will be forgotten about before the end of the week. And you guys also have to remember, they just announced the new modes and everything else coming up for Arc Raiders, I believe, in like a few days here. So the games that people were waiting for updates on are getting updates, and people are going to be returning to those games instead of playing this one. Yeah, put her in a Final Fantasy game and take out the male twinks. Exactly. She looks naked? No, man. The only thing that's exposed is her midriff. She has pretty much no cleavage up top at all. I mean, the pants are hugging, but they're not, like, there's nothing else hanging out, dude. About as stable as Highguard servers. Ayo! Yeah, Jeff, I was just the apology. Oh my god. Banana Man says, everyone who celebrated Highguard should be immediately removed from opinions that you take seriously. Mashimashimon says, so Jeff just woke up one day and decided to kill the Highguard studio by putting a spotlight on them. It wasn't even malice. It was just for the laughs. This guy here, this is a pretty lengthy one, but he says, this is Dre Nilla. Highguard thoughts from a 7,200 hour Apex Legends player. I would say go touch grass. In all honesty, man. Like, in all seriousness. Apex is not that good anymore to put that many hours into it. Optimization's terrible, drops to 40 frames per second with a 4080, and it's not fun at all, and honestly taints the entire gameplay experience. Map is too big for a 3v3, no scarcity of loot. It has one unique point of interest, but it feels way too big. Maps should have or would have been better suited for 5v5, 6v6, 10v10, 3v3v3, anything but straight 3v3. Characters are bland and dull, the kits simply aren't the most fun, and there's for sure a balancing issue. Most of the wardens, I forgot they're calling them wardens in this game. Everything's got a runners, wardens, raiders. Just aren't viable and feel clunky. Too many systems in the game. It can be confusing and overwhelming for a new player and definitely needs to be simplified, polished up. I don't think it's too complicated. It's too much stuff. I don't think it's complicated. It's just messy. More clothes. Look, I don't want my female characters to all have everything but their nipples showing. I'm perfectly fine with a sexy, modest looking female character. I don't think there's anything immodest about that one. Okay. Yeah, too many mechanics with no direct impact on the gameplay. Like I said earlier, they're just giving you a laundry list of shit to go do to justify the existence of the game itself. Merchant shop system is unique but can be overwhelming. Tutorial did the best it could but hurt. Some things were still missing clarity. Armor system and utility slot could have both been better explained. No holster. It felt like it could have been such a fire mechanic. Not sure who the game is truly made for. Not sure who the audience is. Not one gamer said we needed a game like this and that was longing for it. No FOV slider on console. That's rough. Gunplay feels solid when you're not dropping frames. Team fights you experience are actually fun, but the optimization can really leave a sour taste in your mouth. Guns themselves are fun to use, can pack a punch. Free battle pass is a huge W. Mounts are unique, neither bad nor good. Sometimes feels clunky on mouse and keyboard. Monetization seems fair. If they waited another year to cook this game up, Released it in 2027. With the content they have planned in the roadmap, could have looked a lot different. Overall, a 4 out of 10. Grey Wardens, Veilguard Wardens, High Wardens. Yeah, the term Warden needs to be taken away. Nobody gets to use the word Warden anymore. We're done. We are absolutely done with Warden. Oh no, it's Alex. Also says, Highguard reminds me of the Simpsons episode where Homer's brother lets him design a car and it ruins the entire company. Oh man. Well, like we said earlier, it's like a bunch of kids came up with rules for a game that weren't necessary. Solace says, terrible game, lacks any interesting characters, map design makes no sense, and pushing a base includes idling for 30 seconds while a meaningless animation plays. Exactly like I was saying. Every mechanic feels poor in comparison to its competitors, from shooting, moving to UI. Cool idea, absolutely abysmal execution. Another one from Oh No, it's Alex, says this is the worst aspects of every FPS game the last 15 years all rolled into one. Kingard also comes back and says, Highguard really said, what if, to get better gear between rounds, we made people search a giant empty map and melee spam crystals for it? Savvy says, every single Jeff Shill paid promo person from last week, especially the ones thinking that they do not need to disclose anything, are the only ones being positive about Highguard right now, and that's fascinating. Actual FPS streamers don't even want to finish a match. It's that bad, and again, we saw that. Yeah, valid criticism. I think he hit the nail on the head. He did a bigger summary than I would have, but he hit every single problem that I've seen with this game. Whoever playtested this game and never brought up the forced DLSS blurriness, massively missing quality of life features and settings, forced toggle crouch, no numeric sends adjustments, and massive input delay because of poor performance did a massive disservice to the devs. Are you playing Warden over the word Warden? Exactly, I am. 1000%. Another one from DX from YouTube says, I don't like to throw around this term, but Highguard's pretty much unplayable for me. Only way to get 60 FPS is to turn everything down to low and internal resolution to 50%. DLSS is forced. I have to make the game look worse than Apex to get a lower frame rate. What? They call Wardens because it's like your virtual prison or some weird mind experiments. I like some women characters. Don't kill me, that redhead and tentacle dark lady. I'm a simple man. Man, I got no problem with it. Like, this isn't like Concord levels of bad with the character design where you go, oh, you like that? Are you gay? No. The characters, a lot of them look fine, and none of them in my mind look straight up ugly. There is that one butch Una character, the forest nymph chick who looks like she's got a man's upper body. Very strange. But other than that, the characters overall don't seem... They're not off-putting. They're just, for the most part, kind of bland. First commentator was making fun of the OP for not being able to play a complex game. That kind of defense feels so empty and flawed. Yeah, it's not because the game's complex. It's because they don't execute the overly complicated mechanics well. Game runs and looks like absolute shit. Wasn't surprised whatsoever when I realized that the game is on UE5. Mouse latency and is appalling, which is laughable for a PvP game. And I've seen this from some people talking about mouse latency. DX from YouTube says, okay, I think I've seen enough. Highguard wasn't ready to launch. Besides the abysmal performance, I now have a bug where when I get into a game and then I get booted immediately, I genuinely have no clue what's happening. I understand it's day one, but literally cannot play the game. Destin over here saying Highguard is fine. This guy asks, it's not the next breed of shooter? And he goes, no, probably not. Well, Equilibrium, the people saying the game is running like ass, not the ones saying I can't get into a lobby, I get disconnected, my game crashed. Those are legitimate complaints. A lot of the ones saying the game runs like ass, it's the frames per second complaint. Now, those arguments, those conversations are meaningless to me because I am not a frames per second guy. I don't care. As long as I can make sense of what I'm looking at and move around on the screen and it doesn't look like there's input lag or anything else, I'm totally cool with however many frames per second I get on my computer. The problem is for people who are hypersensitive to like needing 100 frames per second, 120 frames per second, to them, they're going to notice those things that I might not notice so much myself. So I might not think it's as big of a criticism for me personally. I'm not so sure about that since I didn't see people have issues. I mean, these are just people saying they had issues with it, you know. This guy, Designful, says, as the biggest Apex and Titanfall shill, I went into Highguard with an open mind, but they missed the mark. Game feels 10 years in the past. D's Game says, first impressions of Highguard after 3 raids. Gunplay's good, mounts are fun. First come, first served when finding rare weapons makes it more competitive. Would prefer 4v4 as maps feel empty, bombs explode too quickly. Not keen on having traders dotted around the map. I think that's stupid for an FPS game. That just seems really stupid. Here you go. Julia Cassian says, trying Highguard, it's not my kind of game, but I was curious. It's sad to see you can't even complete the tutorial because it bugs out. This is why you have beta tests. Yeah, I mean, beta testing would have been helpful probably for this game. Or at least an open playtest like a week before launch. Forest nymph, man's body, no such thing. Forest nymphs are basically woodland succubus. I know, DB Wild. The point was she's like a druid type character, not so much a forest nymph like a fairy or whatever, but she's built like a straight up man and she's wearing like some like druid mask. He chose Una, then she spoke, and I hear him go, wait, my character's female. Dude, I was saying this morning, these guys need to stop and read. Read the chat. Read what you guys are playing, because they weren't paying any attention. Like, Atreus, it took him 20 minutes to realize that Una was a chick. Akeda kept going, oh, why do I feel like I know her voice actress? What's her character? I think she's in Apex. I'm like, it's Horizon! I've said it 5 times! And then I went and confirmed, in fact, it is Horizon. But yeah, I was cracking up this morning. I'm like, guys, stop and read. Built like a swamp thing, exactly. Ink Slasher says, after 2 hours of playing, here are my thoughts. It has a different gameplay loop. If you don't actually play the game, you will not understand it. Trying to explain what it is, it's a MOBA with no minions, meets hero shooter, meets Apex Legends. It's not horrible. The world itself does feel empty with no campaign or background story. The Game Awards trailer made this game look worse than it actually is. I think it just looked like what it is. All that being said, does this game have staying power? No idea. It will depend on rank and long-term support of a community. Let's see. How insensitive of him. Una might be binary. You need to upgrade the wall to protect your base, but the wall easily gets destroyed when the base gets... Victor, again, accomplishing something. They're just giving you some shit to do to justify the game's existence. And again, this is the crap they ran into earlier. You can see where it says not enough players returning to the lobby. This was after they waited in a queue to get into their first lobby when these guys streamed this today. They played one match and then they couldn't connect for like forever. It was absolutely insane. And then, of course, you can see, again, the waiting screen. Kata says this is what it means to play Highguard, not enough players. Legacy Killa even said Highguard is already pissing me off. Got booted to a 10-minute login queue after this. Okay, this was the tweet I was talking about. I think it was this one here. From Rilo Gaming, it says, Highguard feels in every aspect like a fan-made mode of a pre-existing larger game. It's completely safe, inoffensive, and lacks a single shred of identity. The shiny ArtStation portfolio end result of an entropic, self-consuming industry. I'm like, somebody needs to put that on a freaking plaque and send it to Wildlight Entertainment. Because that pretty much perfectly describes everything that we've had to complain about when it comes to this game. And it's not just like, well, you haven't played the game, you don't get to criticize it. No. I'm looking at the comments of people who have played it, who were hoping to have something better than what they got. And these people are all saying the exact same thing. More stream lag? Nah, man. Well, you know what? That's okay. Even if there is stream lag, we made it to my final tweet, so we can wrap it up here in a few minutes. They should add minions to the game to compensate for the huge map it has or make it 6v6. I mean, you could add a hostile NPC faction of some kind between the bases. His ISP might be based. He says non-binary and gets shut down. Yeah, it's just a mechanic to do all in base. Exactly. That's all. That's what they... It's like they added things into the game to justify making the game, you know? Yeah, try refreshing, I guess. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Now, to be honest, I knew my internet was kind of sketchy tonight. I already knew that it was kind of having some weird, wonky stuff going on. So I had the thought. I had the thought before the stream to reset the browser, or the router. And unfortunately, I just didn't have the forethought to do it. We're back. Okay, yeah, try refreshing. On my O-face. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to make the O-face. I'm just not. I had the thought that I would give you guys a free one, but I'm not doing it. Where are we at on this poll? Let me take a look here. Where are we at? Oh, man. Should I request the next Vado key? 67% say yes, 33% no. All right, we're going to do it. I will go on there tomorrow and fill out all my information and request a key for that dog shit game. But yeah, guys, I mean, like I said, I wasn't expecting this game to be anything beyond what it is. But, you can always be cautiously hopeful that the game is going to be surprisingly good, that it's going to offer something different and unique that you weren't even expecting. It's just not the game for that. It's just not it. When it lags out, it just lags out. Oof. Players waited for 3 minutes of mindless upgrade the base for nothing. Yeah. Oh my god, 15,000 players right now. Holy crap. Dude, I can't wait to see what this gets down to. All right, hey guys, I'm going to go ahead and pull the plug on this thing because clearly the plug has been pulled on me. Giggity, that's what she said. So I will try to figure out what's causing this issue. We've had 2 bad streams in a row, and I thought we had everything worked out. It's not a hardware issue as far as like anything computer-based. It's either Streamlabs, my connection, YouTube, whatever we've got going on. Either way, we will be back with an actual stream Wednesday or Friday. I'll try to do some troubleshooting in the meantime between now and then. If you guys can even see me at this point, God only knows, probably can't. I appreciate you guys for hanging, even with the shitty stream, the quality of everything going downhill. I will catch you guys in a couple of days. I'll work on some videos in the meantime because, hey, at least with videos, there's no stream lag. Nothing you guys have to worry about there. So, appreciate you guys. Thanks for putting up with this bullshit. I will catch you guys all very soon.